Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Captain America the Winter Soldier Captain America figure. So this is a movie figure, but it's actually really good. Lately the movie figures have been pretty decent from the Marvel Legends line, and the Infinite Series have been pretty decent as well for the most part. So this guy is really no different. He's quite a nice figure. There are a couple issues I want to talk about, but generally he's worth the money for sure, so no question about it. As far as accessories go, he comes with a shield. It is a new mold. It's bigger than the other ones. It has a nice paint app, and it has some new straps on the back also. We'll talk about that. He has an alternate head, so that's cool. We'll go into detail in a little bit. He's got one hand for a karate chop or a salute. I'm sure it's for a salute, but you could karate chop with it if you want to. He's got a fist for this hand. He does have a fist for his right hand as well. Nicely sculpted, nicely painted. And he has a nose-picking finger for his left hand. Of course, it's really just a pointing finger. Personally, I would have preferred a gripping hand to grab the edge of the shield, but you can point with this hand if you want to. So that's it for accessories. Let's look at the height real quick. He stands a total of 6 1/4 inches, almost exactly. So he's definitely in scale. No issues there. This is a 100% new sculpt, so that's always appreciated. Of course, they didn't really have a choice, being that this is a movie design, so they had to do it, but it definitely is a good sculpt. Let's get that hand out of there. You can get his arms straight down, no problem. The only thing is, they kind of went DCUC style in that, because the arm kind of sticks off of the side of the shoulder rather than out of the center. So that it can look a little weird when you put the arm out. You see this kind of a lump in the armpit, but that's more than acceptable, I would say. It's not a big deal. I personally prefer it when there's a little bit more of a cup to the outside of the shoulder rather than the inside, but then you have issues getting the arm down, so you know, you can't have it all. He does have a bit of a new design for the abdominal section, the ab crunch. It looks really good straight up and down. It's really well hidden. When you start to use it though, it starts to kind of lose that. It's not so bad when you go forward, but if you lean in back, you've got these really weird pieces that jut out up here and then down here, and that is because when you put it straight, they did a more square design in it to hide it a little better, but then as soon as you use it, it just looks pretty awkward. So I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not ideal. They did texture this up here, but it just looks a little odd, and it's pretty much the same way going forward, but it's not nearly as bad because it's on the back, and they did a little bit better job smoothing it out. So just be aware of that. The belt is floating, but it's not a very soft plastic at all. So if you want to use the ab crunch, the waist twist without it sitting up here really high, you're going to have to kind of force it down and then twist the waist, and that'll hold it in place. So it would have been nicer if this was a softer material so it could kind of flex a little bit, but it can't flex at all. So you're going to have to kind of just hold it down there to avoid it squeezing up there and looking kind of off, but that's not a big deal. He has a new hip design. Technically it's essentially the same thing. It's a peg that goes out to the side. So he's got the forward T-joint tire style forward and back, and then it has the hinge to bring the legs out to the side. Although due to this new design that fills the joint a little bit better, it looks good standing forward, or standing straight up and down looking forward. It looks good bringing the leg straight forward like that, but having this kind of, well, it's not really a teardrop shape, but having it come up like that to fill in the gap gives him almost no lateral movement at all. It's very limited. Of course, you don't need to put him in the splits too often, but it's nice to be able to, make him do a kick or something, and it is very limited in that. Very limited. You can't bring it very far to the side, no matter what you do, so that's a bit disappointing. As far as the rest of the articulation goes, it's pretty standard. We've got the ball peg with the hinge, if you want to call it a hinge. It is ratcheted. I don't know if you can hear that. So that's good. It's not floppy at all. Let's put the other head on for now. It's really hard to pop that head on, but it will fit. Oh man, make sure you don't break your figure. And mine has a freckle, it looks like, or a zit. Ball hinge shoulders, like we already talked about, so full range of motion. They do tuck in nicely so you can get the arm all the way up. That's good. No problems there. Bicep swivel, Double jointed elbow, good range of motion. We have a swivel, obviously, because the hands are pegs, so there's a swivel and a hinge. All of the hands have a hinge. One of the hands, where to go? This one, the hinge is going the other way. Personally, I'm not sure why they did that for the pointing finger. It's not like you're going to put your hand up like that. Like, here, let's put it in and see. I think that would have been more useful on maybe this hand, because he's going to be saluting with it, so you could bend his wrist in towards his head. You know, instead of having it point out like that, you could have it bend in towards his head. So that would have been handy there, no pun intended. But having it on this hand, I don't really see a benefit to having the pointing finger be able to point up and down like that. But whatever, I'm not going to use it probably anyway, so it's no big deal, and it's just a hand. But it's just something I noticed that I thought was kind of odd. So no big deal. We'll just put the fists on him, because why not? Gosh, the hands do take a little effort to interchange them, but it shouldn't break. They don't seem like they're going to tear apart or anything. So we do have a thigh swivel in here. Having this little strap on there avoids too much of an eyesore when you use that thigh swivel, since that red stripe is broken up anyway. But, you know, what are you going to do? If you have stripes, you're going to have to lose that somewhere. Double jointed knees, they work really well. We do have a boot swivel, which you guys know I think is silly and pointless, but it is there. So if you like it, it's there. If you don't like it, don't use it. And if you like having ankle articulation, this guy's got pretty good range of motion forward and backward, and he's got the new style ankle rocker, so that's good. It does have pegs in the feet, so if you have a base you need him to stand on, you can do that. These straps are sculpted in, obviously. It would have been nice, I think, for them to include some sort of feature for the shield to connect to his back. You know, maybe like this silver part was out a little bit, so this could kind of loop over it. That would have been really nice, but as it is, there's no way to connect the shield to his back. The sculpting throughout is really good. He's got tons of detail, kind of like a mesh look throughout. Lots of little details in and about all of the other parts. The sculpting is just really, really good. He could have used a little bit more paint in the buckles and things like that, but he does have a pretty good amount on him already. He's definitely a good-looking figure. Don't take that to mean what you're thinking it means. I'm talking about figure, not the fact that he's handsome and dreamy. Okay, you can see up here, there's just a stripe on this side, and then we have the US flag on that side, and it says Rogers, probably in case other people were going to wear his outfit, they would know that this one was his and to not touch it. He's got the shield logo on his shoulder, not on this side. I hope it's not supposed to be there. If mine's an error, I'm going to be pissed. No, I don't really care, no big deal. Well, I do care. I take that back. Okay, so the head looks really good. They did shading in the hair, 2 different tones at least. No shading on the face, but it doesn't really need it. I've never been too big a fan of the skin shading because it doesn't usually look that good. The sculpt is really good. It's a nice look for Cap. It doesn't look like Chris Evans at all, I don't think. But I don't care because it looks good anyway. Yeah, I don't think it looks like Chris Evans. This head does look like Chris Evans. The other one doesn't. So maybe it's just me, but I don't think it looks like it. But like I said, I don't care. I like it anyway. I do have that blue paint on the cheek, which is bothering me. I hadn't noticed that. But what are you going to do? The eyes are painted fairly well. The eyebrows are painted well, so that's cool. This head, equally well done. The eye paint's not perfect, but it's good enough. The helmet has tons of detailing. The little silver thing up there to replace the wings. The A is fairly square, fairly well painted. The chin strap is done well. Lots of detail throughout the helmet, so that's good. I think this guy, they put a lot of effort into this guy and it paid off. I wish we could get some consistency from Hasbro because we get awesome figures like this that I'm happy to have, happy to spend the money on. And then we get that X-Men 5-pack that made me want to throw up in my mouth. So I don't know what's going on, Hasbro. Give us some consistency, please. We'd be happy to throw our money at you if you gave us figures that were always this good. So do that, and we'll get along just fine. Anyway, it looks really good all the way around. And then to talk about the shield just a little bit, I don't know if the other ones had it or not, but it has the little rivets on the points of the star. All of the paints are metallic. It's actually molded in this blue, but it matches nicely with the painted dark blue and the painted silver. Very well done. No real bleeding issues. A little bit on the silver part for the star, but nothing problematic. No paint on this side, unfortunately, for the straps and things, but we do have the better looking design for the straps. They are pretty stiff though. In fact, they're very, very stiff. So putting it on his arm usually requires a hand swap. You have to pop that off and then put it on, and then put the hand back in place, just because the fist doesn't fit very well through the straps. And this can be kind of tricky. So I don't care for that too much, but it does get on there. And you can put it on his arm that way just fine. Although personally, I think it looks better for him to have his hand through only the one strap. This one, which you can kind of do, or you can put it this way, then it takes a little bit of stretching, or the hand swap. I'm going to see if I can stretch it real quick. I don't know if I can. I think I tried once. I don't remember. Doesn't look like it's going to go. So what I want to do is put it on this way, just so I can show you how I think it looks best. Now, people are complaining that this shield is too big, and I don't believe that to be accurate. I think the shield size is pretty much spot on. I believe technically the shield is supposed to go from elbow to knee when it's on his side, and I'm going to show you that that's pretty much what it does. So anyway, I like to put it like this so it looks like he's holding it from the strap. It gives him a little bit better composition, I think, rather than having it up here really high up. This looks like it's more usable, or like he's just ready to throw it or something. If you wanted to pose it looking like he's going to throw it, this is how you would probably want to do it anyway. So that's fine by me. But anyway, to talk about the size, if you put it up right, it goes just about exactly if his arm was straight down from elbow to knee. So give or take a little bit. I think it's not too big at all, and it looks just fine. So there it is, guys. That was a really long review for Marvel Legends, but I think it warranted it because this is a really, really good figure, and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.